and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours beat. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire was wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burned, burned, burned. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burned, burned, burned. The ring of fire, the ring of fire, and it burned, burned, burned. The ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring
Hello.
of fire.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What is up?
Yo. What's going on, sir?
Oh, whole hell of a lot.
Yeah. Where are you at right now?
An undisclosed location.
That looks like your face behind you.
Where?
Do you want me to show it? Hold on.
Yes, that is my face.
Ah. That sort of immediately narrows down what the undisclosed location can be.
Yes.
Let me fix my brightnesses. Jason, are you there, buddy?
Hey, sorry, I'm here now. Yes.
Yeah, you are. You better be, son. You better come correct. Hold on, because we're about to get weird up in this bitch. There we go. Can you send me video?
Give me just a second.
You got it. Dude. Look what I got.
That is gorgeous.
I'm excited. I don't know nothing about it. You got it. Right on, man. I was gonna try to see if I could set these up for streaming. Allegedly, these are what The Verge has standardized on for all of its live streaming.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know though. I gotta find the mini HDMI cable, and then I gotta learn how to set the output settings to 720p. But that'll all be stuff I do after we finish being weird.
Sweet. And also no ads today. If people want to put in ads, then put in ads. I'll have them in the podcast. But I've kind of gotten into a thing, especially traveling with the holiday stuff, where like I wait and wait and wait for ads to come in, and the episodes just come out later.
Yeah.
And I think it'd just be better if I just put the episodes out immediately after we recorded them, and
then
everybody
just
gets
queue
them
up
sooner.
next week.
Yeah. And also it's like when Andrew's not here, then I'm not worried about ads and everything. So.
Right. I guess there's no need to. Right now, like this middle one is set to be this space because that's what I was doing for The Walking Dead. But I'm done playing The Walking Dead. I'm done with that game, Justin. I'm not playing it anymore. Never again.
Well, you got to the end of it, though.
Well, yes.
You cried like a baby.
That's I did actually. Somebody sent in. I did, and I cursed the name of Gary Whitta.
I saw that. We're now that the episode 4 is finally out, I think we're gonna review it.
Dude, did you get to the end yet?
No, I played the part of the first one when it first came out, but I haven't played any of the others.
Well, we'll talk about this in the picks. We'll go ahead and and explain what's up. What do you want us to plug of your stuff? Of the Loading Bar show?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that would work. Specifically our YouTube channel, because we need more hits on that.
It's youtube.com/The Loading Bar? Or just, okay.
Yeah, The Loading Bar. Yeah.
youtube.com/The Loading Bar. Man, I had a good time. I'm sorry that we haven't made it happen to get together and play.
All right, everybody, welcome back to WWE 13.
Well, that's weird. Normally, it doesn't autoplay that.
All right, everybody, welcome back.
There's something about this that defeats my autoplay blocker. Weird. All right.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, Jeff wanted me to ask you. He was just here. That's who I was talking to when you called.
Oh, right on.
But yeah, he wants. We're going to be front loading a lot of stuff before the holidays,
dude. Absolutely.
And we'd like to have you on something.
Yeah, you got it, man. All right. Well, here, let me press the records buttons, and then we'll do Cool Edit Pro.
Do I need to record separately? Or
No. I'll we'll get all the levels on here. The only issue you'll have is
give me 2 seconds before we start recording.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just setting levels right now. Jason, can I hear you talk?
Testing, test. Hello.
Yeah. Justin?
Hello. Test. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and this is me talking. So eat a bag of munchkins. There we go.
Are there any
That looks good.
content restrictions that I should be aware of?
We try not to curse on this one, or just know that cursing means
No, don't curse, because then I got to edit it.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
No problem.
Because then Justin has to go edit. All right, man. We are now recording.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were past that phase. I stopped recording. That was a phase I was going through back when I was recording things, but I got over it.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to have a return to the Indianapolis mystery explosion.
Okay. Well, and I guess we have to wait until, because last week we had Tom Merritt, and we pushed back our update on our Sting investigation.
Yes, we do still have the details. This will unfortunately be yet another radio tease to our investigation.
So what you're saying is we can now confirm that next week we're having Kevin Smith as our co-host.
Absolutely.
On this episode.
When Andrew returns to the podcast, we will do the Snuggery update. Actually, try and find. I always forget when Andrew's not on until right before the show that amongst the other things that I normally do for the show, I also have to find stories.
You know what? I actually have a couple of stories. One,
okay.
we could talk about radiation on Mars not being as bad as we thought. You know that one?
No, so that'd be good.
All right. And then let me see if I can I'll find something for us to reference. Radiation on Mars. Yeah. And then there was another one as well. Oh, it was like yeah. Hold on here. I'm not going to tell it to you. I'm just going to read the headline when we do the show.
Jason, what's your Twitter?
At Captain Murphy.
By the way, I started watching Archer. I finally watched the first episode of Archer, finally, and of course, Archer is from the same team that did both. What was the one before? What was the one between C-Lab 2021 and Archer? About the super villain guy. Why can I not? Why can I not remember his name? Frisky Dingo. That's what it is.
Oh, I never did see that.
Oh my God, no, it's great. That's where people hear me say "go time" all the time. That's they had this kind of fraternity douchebag superhero who like Awesome X was his name. And it's like when he's outside of his regular identity, he's just like, he always answers the phone. He's like, "Go time." Hold on. Go time. Go time. Go. God damn it. You know, that's what I'm referencing with that.
I need to go back and watch those. I heard good things about it. I think it was Martin that was raving about them.
Oh my God, yeah, no, there's some definitely good stuff. All right, so I got 2 topics that are in the news, Justin. If you have a couple more.
Good, yeah. So I have a return to our explosion. So we'll have Jason guess about the explosion.
All right, this will be good.
Then we have a explanation.
Is there going to be a quiz?
No, I mean yes. Wait, how does an improvisational exercise come down? Hey, is that your new place that I'm seeing?
Oh, yeah, temporary. This is the temporary digs with the roach-infested foundation tilting, no hot water for 2.5 weeks crap hole.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
For $1,700 a month.
Renting,
no less.
huh?
Rent, yeah.
Yeah.
Until we close, which is in question, but that's a different story.
Well, you know, Terrace
It
Lane.
sounds very weird.
We're talking about weird mortgages.
Yeah, the only thing is weird smells in this house. Like there's an old person that comes and like craps in the kitchen when we're not around.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that would be a Japanese fable that was lost in translation. That you read the English translation, you're like, does that really mean old woman pooping in the kitchen?
Yeah. Did you guys ever see Uzumaki or read the manga Uzumaki?
No.
Anyway, yeah, it's bizarre. So I was going to make an Uzumaki joke, but it doesn't.
But apparently
make
it would be
sense.
lost. If you like,
it would have went over better than Brian's Frisky Dingo reference.
That's true. That's true.
And he's built a career on having that as a catchphrase.
Yeah, it's true. If you want, you could go ahead and drop it, and we'll react like we get it.
Okay, how about this? Shit, I don't even remember what it was now. Wait, are we recording?
Wait, is that the reference? Oh, good God. That's great.
We're live, but we're live, but not recording.
Okay, sorry. I already. Anytime you put this microphone in front of me, I get horribly profane. So I apologize.
Yeah.
I will from here on out. The purity filter is on. I don't have a purity filter.
Your purity.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait, it says the thing you linked to. I guess it's us live. I wonder. But it says the URL says Weird Things Live recording with Tom Merritt. I don't know if that matters.
Hold on. I can change it.
Yeah.
Wait, is that in the URL or is that the actual headline?
in the URL. I mean that's
okay. Yeah.
I'm just
No,
making
that
sure.
doesn't matter.
Okay. Awesome. All right, boss. I'm ready to go when you are.
I am ready.
All right. Let me press the record button. Hello, testing 1 2 3. Let me hear you guys chatter.
Check. 1 2 1 2.
Chatter. Test.
All right,
Test.
we got it. We got it. Let's do this.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Weird Things podcast. Yes, before you turn off this episode, because it is yet again the shrill, nasally tone of Justin Robert Young greeting you on the Weird Things podcast and not Andrew Mayne. Allow me to satiate you with our old pal. He's back yet again. Brian Brushwood, welcome.
You know what we ought to do is maybe kind of psych everyone out. We should play a recording of Andrew Mayne at the beginning doing his traditional,
Oh my
ghouls
God,
and goblins,
yes.
weirdlings and weird things or whatever, and then just record scratch like it's Ally McBeal and be like, just kidding, it's us.
Psych, bro.
No intellectual content this episode yet again.
And if that sounded disappointing, just wait till you hear who we've brought in as a special guest. J_K, kiddos. It is your friend and mine, Jason Murphy of Spill.com. Welcome.
Yeah, Loading Bar Show. YouTube.com/The Loading Bar. Is that what it is?
YouTube.com/The Loading Bar. It is very much not safe for work. If you like video games and vulgarity, then that's the place for you.
But
Man,
of course,
that's our core demo, baby. You're speaking to the right people.
So
it should be pointed out, actually, Jason, part of the reason I suggested having him on the show is Jason and I actually have a long history going back, pre-Scam School, back when I was working on that show on Court TV. Jason and I, were co-writing a bunch of the episodes, trying to set all that up.
yes.
Well,
Whatever happened to that? Oh, wait. Well,
Yes, okay.
nothing.
We know how it all ended. You don't need to rub it in my face. I'm famous on the internet now. Screw you.
It's all I need.
Well, we will start this episode with a bit of a blast from the past, and blast will figure in very literally into this particular story. Jason, allow me to paint the picture as it was painted for us, because I want to get your reaction to it before I reveal the update to this story, which we have talked about on the podcast before. Imagine a quiet neighborhood in a Indiana suburb, kind of a Tony area. We're talking upper middle class here. When all of a sudden, a explosion rips through at least 3 houses, and nobody knows what happened.
Now
absolutely no leads.
Like to paint the picture, like there used to be a house there, and now there's not, and it took out giant chunks of all the other houses around it. There's splinters and boards as far as the eye can see. I'll see if I can find that image that we.
Is this a Donnie Darko thing? What is that? What happened?
No, it's not Donnie Darko. Strangely,
no.
Am I going to look over and see
like an explosion that you could only survive by climbing in a fridge?
Yes, it's you can climb in a fridge to get away from it. Let's see, Indiana House
Jones was where that reference was from. Kingdom and the Crystal Skull.
Let's not go that direction, please.
It's gonna break your heart
again and again.
So basically, just a block is physically obliterated, and as we were explained, this story, literally no leads, absolutely no explanation, and we had to guess what it could possibly be.
Was anyone hurt?
Yeah.
Yes, 2 people died.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 people died.
Yeah, okay. Only 2 people. Their feelings were very badly hurt when they told a joke and the house exploded, but not with laughter. It just detonated.
Exactly. and no, the idea that the joke bombed so hard it exploded 2 houses is not actually how this happened.
It exploded.
That's as valid a reason as anything we've postulated on this show before.
Please, if bombing jokes caused actual explosions, then I would actually be Osama bin Laden.
Okay. Now, so you want me to try to postulate?
Yeah, just imagine, if you will. Now this will be like a usual suspects kind of thing. I'm gonna walk with a limp behind you and pretend to be your pal when secretly I already know much more about this story than I'm letting on. But meanwhile, I let you play
and I'm gonna talk like Benicio del Toro.
Yes.
So great. Verbal Justin. Okay. No.
Go ahead. So Brian, you lead him through.
Like, listen, nobody knows what happened to this house, you see? And it's up to you to figure it out. Are you going to stand there or are you going to figure it out?
And there's something happened with the house.
You actually look a lot like... I don't think I realized until this moment how much you look like Benicio del Toro.
It sounds like it was one heck of a block party.
For those of you listening on audio, as for this audio-only podcast, Jason pulled off his glass, a la CSI Miami.
Not bad though. Maybe the pacing will play.
I dramatically took off shades for just you.
No, it was good. Yeah, listen, it sounded great on the podcast, and I'm sure it'll play great in everybody's mind. You painted an audio picture.
Ryan said, "Hey, can you give me video?" I thought, "Oh, well, let me put on a hat." I thought this was all audio.
Yeah, what I meant was, will you send me video so I can throw it in the trash so that nobody will watch it?
Absolutely.
Okay,
right, so one of the guesses that I had.
Go ahead, Justin.
So one of the guesses that I had, just to lead you down where we had kind of gone with it, because when we first talked about it, still unexplained, mind you, that maybe there was a natural gas pocket that for some reason went awry and exploded, which caused this gigantic thing. Brian went right to Fight Club.
Yeah. You know, that whole explanation, when the place explodes, it says, you know, the pilot light blows out slowly over the weekend. Everything fills with gas. The compressor for the refrigerator goes off, and the whole thing detonates. That made sense to me.
So was it burned up, or was it just like demolished, or was there
explosion? I mean, the vast amount of the damage came from explosion.
That would be my assumption, that it was gas or some sort of, again, maybe falling frozen urine from a plane, like a lot of it.
It could be.
Like
you know what? There are no wrong answers on the Weird Things podcast. Only
that's
weird
a lot
answers.
Of sauce.
I mean, like a lot. You know, like a big giant. Like maybe they had a bunch of Taco Cabana, and it like froze in the clouds.
That would be like a weird, discolored version of Titanic.
What?
Like to create that much, it'd be like we didn't land on the Titanic iceberg. The Titanic iceberg landed on us.
Also, the Titanic iceberg is very yellow and maybe made of human excrement.
The stinkiest frozen death.
Imagine that as the call from the first officer. It's like, Captain, there's an iceberg, and it appears to be yellow and possibly human excrement
falling from the sky.
It's like, when are you gonna stop yelling things? Because everything you yell is worse than the thing you yelled before.
So when we first told this story a couple weeks ago, I believe it was introduced as specifically like before you start thinking about it, they're like, and it's not a meth lab, right? That was like the first thing that we said.
Yeah.
That's like
normally when you see these kinds of explosions, it's because the volatile chemicals used in the production of recreational methamphetamines by the people who decide to produce recreational methamphetamines, who aren't exactly Nobel laureates,
right?
Tends to
amateurs, as we'll call them.
Yes. Produce gigantic explosions.
Yeah, man. In fact, I'm looking at here we go. This is a picture of what the aftermath looked like after the explosion, and apparently the other houses around it were so damaged that they're demolishing them. It says here, crews will begin demolition today of several homes damaged in the explosion.
Okay, I've seen some frozen urine related destruction, and that is not it. That is not what happened.
I can say one thing: frozen urine falling from the sky does not cause fires like I'm seeing there. This cannot be. So rule that idea out, people.
Yeah.
So do we have an update on it?
That one.
Here's the update. Law enforcement officials Monday confirmed what many residents at the site of a deadly blast on the south side November 10th suspected foul play.
Wait a minute. Not an accident.
Not an accident. Officials make clear that they think that the home explosion that killed 2 people and damaged 86 houses in the Richmond Hill subdivision was not an accident. Quote, Gary Coons, chief of the Indianapolis Department of Public Safety and Homeland Security, says, at this time, we have to inform you that we're turning this into a criminal homicide investigation.
There are 2 things about it. First of all, number 1, this is a real-life Mad Bomber scenario. This is a guy with like a vaguely Russian accent. Is just like, you're too late. I blow up the world.
Unfortunately, Mel Gibson
right
was
now,
able to safely get Danny Glover off of the toilet.
That's right. What was that, Justin?
By the way, right now there's a Russian listener in Indianapolis who's like, well, thanks, Brian.
Although it's amazing how fast my Russian accent became French. He's just like, blow up everything.
Boris Lepew.
Yeah, Boris Lepew is his name. No, but the second part is you're telling me like what all the locals already suspected. Like they're out walking their dogs, house blows up, and they're like, I don't know why it took you this long. We've been saying there's a mad bomber on the loose for days, and if they were going to get anyone, it was going to be these guys.
Would you call it a mad bomber? I just imagine someone dressed up like the Hamburglar.
Maybe it is the Hamburglar. He's like, if I can't have them,
nobody
can.
These pigs putting a stop to his fun and chicanery.
Yeah, Ronald sends him out whenever he needs somebody bumped.
That's his black ops is the
By the
Hamburglar.
way, let me give you just a piece of information in case, of course, this is a public service. If anybody has any kind of information on this crime, there is somebody that you should go and talk to. And by the way, two rewards that you can collect if you happen to know who the Mad Bomber is, and that is from Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana. Actually, no, here I'll give you the ATF reward. $10,000.
Hey.
What do you think the reward for the Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana for an explosion that damaged 86 houses and killed 2 people is?
A strong sense of self-congratulation.
And an Applebee's gift certificate.
Wait, is that really in there?
No, not really. It's $1,000. So it's still.
That would be amazing.
They obviously have no desire to solve this crime.
It's just one of those things where it's like, you gotta wonder how much, public financing for like a basketball stadium gets. And it's like, for the person who blew up 86 houses, I don't know, $1,000? We can put together $1,000.
Is that what it was? It was $1,000?
It's $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Anyone else think it's a little bit odd that ever since we discussed this story, as they close in on it, all of a sudden Andrew Mayne becomes less and less available to join us on the podcast?
Also, by the way, this also from the authorities, if anyone has information about a white van seen in the Richmond Hills subdivision the afternoon of November 10th, we ask that such information be communicated.
For reals? Why is it always the white van?
Real.
That was the same thing with the D.C. area sniper suspect. They said the words white van. Turns out it wasn't a white van, but somebody said white van, and all of a sudden everybody starts calling the authorities. We're like, I saw a white van. Must be the killer.
And suddenly every guy with a van and a bunch of candy who just wants to make some friends with some kids at the playground is getting pulled over.
It's not right. It's not right. It's not white.
So there we go. Speaking of the D.C. area sniper.
Did they say what the explosive was? I mean, I assume that they've got to be kind of tight on what they know, but like they got to know from the residue. Obviously, not a gas leak at this point, right?
Well, no. I mean, they're not saying anything. They're just saying it's a homicide investigation and white van. You saw a white van? Come talk to me. Hey, you seen a white van? Come talk to me. What's the problem? Maybe you make $11K.
I see, and then he turns against him. You're like, I seen a blue van. You're like, did I say blue van? Now get the hell out of my face. You come back with a white van.
What do you think this is? The song Counting Blue Cars? Because it ain't. It's counting white vans. One white
You did
van.
not just drop a Dishwalla reference in 2012. Wow.
That's a Dishwalla reference.
It was a commentary on the character who was saying that. He's like, well, you saying I'm out of date? I'll blow up your house if you are.
Hey, JK, just kidding. I know sensitive times. Sensitive times. Hearts and prayers out to the families. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody. This episode is brought to you by people like you. Thank you very, very much for supporting this very podcast. If you would like to have your name read on it, head on over to weirdthings.com/sponsor, and you can have your 30-second ad read all up on this podcast. But you want to know what? This one comes for free. Yeah, everybody gets a taste, but it's only when one of us isn't here, because otherwise it's like, you got to pay.
It's only when the boss isn't looking. Then everybody gets a taste for free, because I don't care. It's like I'm only getting paid $8 an hour.
Because me and Brian are the burnout employees at the TCBY treats.
The two of us are high as a kite driving the van around, and we don't care. Yes, go ahead, take 3 bomb pops, kid. We don't. What do I look like? This matters to me at all? You think this is what I wanted to be? I got a graduate degree in philosophy, and I'm handing out bomb pops.
I'm just trying to get blazed and listen to Dishwalla.
Hey man, so I got a couple of news stories that we can chew on.
And go.
All right, we could talk about Mars, or we could talk about apes.
MARS.
Yeah,
Mars.
dude.
How about apes on Mars?
Now that's just speciesist. All right, we're trying to cut off that association before it even begins. Don't talk that way. So here's the thing: Mars, historically, did you ever read Red Mars, Green Mars, Blue Mars? The Mars.
Is that a Dr. Seuss book about space travel?
It was. It was about terraforming Mars by Kim Stanley, Dr. Seuss. But Kim Stanley Robinson's book does a really good job of giving, really practical nod to the difficulties of living in such a harsh, irradiated environment, right? Because we know that the trip out to Mars, you got a lot of irradiation from the sun. But recently, because Pathfinder is wait, I said Pathfinder. What is this? 1997? What is the new one that's on there?
Voyager.
The rover, right?
Voyager. Robbie.
No, what is the new one?
Steve.
It's the rover, right? The Mars.
Yeah, the Mars rover. What is the new one? Curiosity. The Mars Curiosity. Curiosity. I said Pathfinder. I can't believe it. Curiosity has recently found out that the amount of radiation actually hitting the Martian surface is not only less than we had previously thought, but so little that, I'm showing the headline now, astronauts could survive the radiation on Mars, scientists say. So this is on... Sorry, go ahead.
So initially, the idea was that if you went on Mars in like a regular spacesuit, you would just like disintegrate and die or succumb to radiation poisoning. Yeah,
well, I mean, it would be enough that it would definitely take you out, and to where it's like the very talk about about going to Mars. It's like, well, it's all fantasy because there's too much radiation, but not no more.
All right. So practically, this means that we are one step closer to the idea of just putting people on Mars.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what, I know that traditionally we don't look at the chat room, but somebody just fed a very on-point follow-up, which is a headline from IO9, so we could talk all kinds of Martian talk here. SpaceX founder unveils plan to send 80,000 people to Mars. You ever hear of SpaceX, Justin Robert Young?
I do, and I have, and that has been kind of in our certainly our purview about SpaceX and the obsession with everything that they've done. That they have, the new rocket that they've been talking about in hushed terms would be one that could take that they would think could take people to Mars. But that's pretty amazing.
Well, it says
I misread the article scanning it. It said by shuttling 80,000 pioneers to the Red Planet. I was like, I thought it said by shuttling 80,000 prisoners to the Red Planet.
You know what? That's legit too. Whatever gets warm bodies.
I thought it was awesome. It's like, this is a setup for a bad sci-fi movie, like right up there with Lockout and Red Planet.
So this is also interesting. $500,000 a trip, $500,000, which means it is not unreasonable. Let's say this is happening in 20 years, and think about, like, let's say average income is $50,000 or whatever. You would have to save. No, you'd have to save for 100 years. Well, crap, nobody's gonna go. You can save aggressively. Let's say if you're making a comfortable middle class income of, we'll say, $75,000, and you could set aside $25,000 a year, you could save up and over 15, 20 years have enough to buy your ticket to go to Mars.
Right.
Here's the thing.
Right.
You're
thinking about this all wrong.
Mars.
All right, hold on. Justin's got me dead to rights. Go ahead.
All wrong.
All right.
Because you just said a word that would very much key into this. Ticket. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm thinking golden ticket. How many millionaires and billionaires are out there that want to sponsor a Charlie Bucket to not get on a great glass elevator like a mook?
Sure.
No, on a rocket ship to Mars where they will live for the rest of their life. That way, dude, imagine, like, let's say, because, listen, there are people that I know and maybe platonically friends with who are in nonprofit fundraising.
Right.
And I see some of the dollar amounts that go or are talked about for certain nonprofit fundraising. This is in no way like out of the realm for some person, some crazy person who sold their company in Silicon Valley to be like, yeah, you want to know what? How about we don't only put on rich people in our first Martian colony?
Oh, so
Earthlings.
you're saying like somebody who's got sitting on, we'll say $1 billion or whatever, dedicates $100 million to get 200 golden tickets, maybe wrapped in their fancy bottled water. It's like what's the one consumer good? So imagine you're a hyper mega global conglomerate.
Okay, well, let's
these.
do it. I mean, Jeff Bezos would be, and he's obviously doing his own
Yeah.
thing, right? But obviously, Jeff Bezos of Amazon has been very, very aggressive about spending money and doing loss-leading items to get people to use Amazon. They see a value in, like, let's say the Kindle was sold, I believe, below cost. I think that some of them are still, the Kindle Fires, I believe, are still sold below cost. Now, all of a sudden, imagine every purchase on Amazon registers you for, or maybe even Prime. If you want to really,
you have to sign up for Amazon Prime. No, that makes sense.
But what if you bought something really embarrassing and that was your winning ticket?
It's like because of it's like Brian Brushwood recently got a ticket to Mars for purchasing sexual lubricants.
Yeah, like he bought 37 gallons of Astroglide
and mayonnaise
and 2 DVDs of Phineas and Ferb, and he's like, "They're for my daughters." No, the DVDs.
Well, here's the other thing too: is because it's a one-way ticket and because it's for one person. I mean, that's gotta reduce. Like maybe the golden ticket has to be like for you and your family, or up to 3 other people. Because it's like
I'm saying no. Okay, so maybe the golden ticket in the way it was in I would want to say Jimmy Wonka. Like that was
Jimmy Wonka. Jimmy Wales is Wonka. That's who it's got to be. It's got to be Jimmy Wales. A personal plea from Jimmy Wonka.
Yeah, a personal appeal. Go to Mars. I'm gonna be really bored.
Go to Mars, please.
Especially if you're a hot chick.
That's the thing. I don't want to go to Mars.
You wouldn't want to go. You don't even want to leave the house though.
That's true, but I don't want to go to the Wi-Fi signal on Mars is probably really bad.
Yep.
It's probably like crappy. I probably only get like Edge network on my phone.
Now here's a good question. Okay. So let's say the journey gets settled out to where it's less than
real quick before you finish it.
Sure.
Jimmy Wonka would be a blaxploitation version of Willy Wonka.
He just says everything Willy Wonka does, but follows it with "you dig," and he's just like, "There's no way of knowing, you dig, which direction the boat's going." You feel me?
That gives new meaning to Chocolate Factory.
Is it raining? Is it snowing?
Who would be Jimmy Wonka? Who do you cast as Jimmy Wonka in the blaxploitation version of Willy Wonka?
It's gotta be. I
mean, Richard Roundtree would be the easy one.
No, I was totally thinking like Lando Calrissian. I was thinking of
Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, having Billy D. Williams.
D? Yes.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
With me,
He's
and
like,
you'll be, you dig?
In a world of pure imagination. Hello, ladies.
What we have here. All right.
You stole fizzy lifting drink, and now they have to be washed and sterilized. You get nothing. You lose. He would make that smooth. Like you would.
Wow, that's an almost seductive version of that monologue.
I know.
We've got another dead honky in the Chocolate River. That's a damn shame.
Well, it really does put new meaning to when he's just like, no, come back.
No, stop, don't.
Yeah.
He's like, look, just because he's German, I can't say he's a Nazi, but I certainly didn't find him on our side.
Jimmy Wonka.
Jimmy Wonka. Amazing.
All right.
Okay, so here's
8,000 people to Mars. Brian, you were saying something before I interrupted.
No, this is great, though. You're always welcome to interrupt with a Jimmy Wonka story. That's a universal. Our friendship is built on one thing. So here's the question, and this is for Jason and for you. Let's assume the journey gets down to, we'll say 6 weeks. It's so fast. It's 6 weeks at, maybe a half G on the way up and then a half G on the way down. So 6 week journey. How many people need to be on Mars before you even consider going there for a trip? And is that number different for a trip just to say you did it versus a trip to like to seriously consider immigrating to Mars?
I think for me, knowing how impetuous I am, if somebody came up to me today and said, you want to know what? Like, do you trade the infinite possibility of living in, this element of our culture, and whatever career trajectory you are on, like, even if you take the most conservative element of that, do you trade that? Do you trade everything that's behind door number 1, right?
Yep.
For a trip to Mars where you know exactly what your legacy is going to be. You're going to be Justin Young, Martian pioneer.
Pioneer. Like, not even as a joke. Those words, like, say that again. Just roll that around here. Justin Young,
Martian pioneer. There's like a 60% chance that I say yes.
No matter, even if you're the one, even if like just knowing that there are other people who will be following you, knowing that you're not just going up there to die alone.
No. I'm looking at this in the 80,000 proposal.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
In looking at 80,000, it'd be like, this would definitely be the smallest town I've ever lived in. It would definitely be more claustrophobic than any situation I've ever been in my entire life. And it would be, again, final when I've previously continually, and we all have, no matter what, no matter how boxed in or depressed we might think about our lives at times, we are in a infinite possibility society.
Yeah, sure,
or at least
sure.
Americans are. If anyone's listening,
Now,
this is not an American country, then sorry, you're screwed.
What's funny is the first thing I think of is like, well, sure, I could go once the kids are, off to college. When the kids are like 15 or whatever. If this was happening in 12 or 15 years, I could go. But then I was like, would Mars even want me? Because at that point, I'm past my baby making prime. And what's the point of pioneers? Like, are there any old pioneers?
Mars needs internet host fertilization.
Man, could you imagine doing the Weird Things podcast?
You wouldn't. I think you would have to have no kids to do it, unless you're bringing your kids. Because you're saying that you're gone forever. That at 15, Bobo Brushwood.
Sure.
Says goodbye, Daddy, and that's it forever.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. I'll send video postcards. Let them know what's going on. I mean, it's like
video postcards. Or are you taking their mother and their
Mars?
Yes.
It's gonna look like. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Video postcards from Mars. It's gonna look like like watching it on a real player. Is that how you want your children to remember you?
I don't. You're like, I'm so sorry that you associate Daddy with real. It's the only way for me to get my message to you, though. I'm sorry.
How long would it take though to get to Mars at like
15
regulars?
minutes. 15 minutes is the light speed communication from here to Mars.
Okay, no. How long will we take as people to get? there?
We'll say 6 weeks. I think realistically 6 months.
No, realistically.
Well,
6 months?
right now I think it's 6 months, right? Because they're talking about 3 years for a round trip journey.
Okay.
So realistically, we'll say 6 months. Man, that's a long ass time to be bottled up.
I mean, yes, but to go to Mars, it's Mars.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like 6 months is like, okay, yeah. So like friends that have gone like, oh, we lived in Europe for 5 years. Like you could do that, but be in Mars.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about it being a short-term thing because I figured at that I guess if you at that expense, you could write your own ticket. It's like, call it $500,000 to get out there, and then another $500,000 to come back if you feel like it. I would so do 5 years on Mars.
See,
okay,
that
but
would be.
Let's not think about that.
No, you're just thinking one-way trip in it.
I have a question for you.
Oh, shoot. Here it comes. All right, go ahead.
So you are Jeff Bezos after you purchase Deathbed 2, the bed that eats, on Amazon. You are selected by Jeff Bezos and his crazy plan to send random people. And by the way, we find out later in like a big The Verge expose that he really just went through he just got high one night and just started like searching the Amazon databases for the most embarrassing stuff possible so he could send those people to Mars. So you get sent to Mars.
Can you imagine? Hold on. Can you imagine that power? Like you're going through the database and you're just like short circuit 2, going to Mars. Bleep. You know, just know that you're just sending earthquakes through people's lives just based on judgments about what they buy. That would be
about crappy movies they buy.
Yes, yes.
All right, so all the girls are 15, okay?
Magically, they're all the same age.
And you are at least 15. You are now, so what would they be? I guess they'd
be 15, 20, and 23, 24.
Okay. Now you are offered the chance to go free of cost, but it is one way possibility that as prices come down, your family could join
visit,
you,
but it would
by
be,
no means a certainty. Okay. Bonnie says, listen, it's hard enough for the girls to be without their dad, possibly permanently. I've got to stay behind. If and when, obviously, prices come down, and as, you know, the girls get older, I'll definitely join you out there. But for a period, you're out there by yourself.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of it.
Are you allowed to bang a Martian pioneer?
No, absolutely not. I'll tell you that much for sure.
Listen, bro.
Are you allowed
it doesn't count if it's on a different planet.
Let's just say that again, Jason.
Are you allowed to partake in one of Jimmy Wonka's Martian harem?
The Oompa Loompa effect.
I made it some Mars.
The Oompa
I'm making
Oompa.
candy bars, and you don't even know what that is.
Okay, here's the thing. I know that this would be the breaking point that would prove Brian to be a horrible father.
If I went?
No, you'd be like, well, I love you kids a lot.
But I hear once you
There's
go Martian.
this one thing.
There's one thing I can't have on my planet. I've always thought I was a Martian sexist. I always thought I was a Martian sexual, and now it wasn't even a thing. But now it's a thing I've discovered. That's what's in me.
You're there 10 years later, and now all of a sudden, by way of complications, maybe some space warfare, striking unions, it looks highly unlikely that Bonnie can make it out there. You're telling me you're celibate forever?
I mean, the deal is I wouldn't go if Bonnie couldn't join me. Like that's flat out. Like no matter what a dream it is, no matter how awesome it would be to be a space pioneer, I ain't doing it alone. If it was a short-term
Bezos
thing,
calls you personally and promises you that he's going to fly Bonnie out there in 5 years.
Okay,
but you have to go now.
5 years is a long ass time though, man.
Yeah, in 5 years, and Bonnie says, okay, have all of the Martian hoo-ha you want, but then you find out you have Martian herpes.
It's space herpes.
Space herpes. You have the space herpes.
See, I mean, it's like there are already people facing that where it's like somebody goes off to make money, and it is 5 years until the wife's able to arrive, and you know they're I presume celibate during that time.
All right, so you're out there, you take it, you take that deal, then you find out Bonnie can't go.
Wow, why?
How long do you wait realistically?
I mean, this is you're killing me. What is this? You're asking what is the value of my marriage?
No, I'm just saying, like, all of a sudden you're stranded across the great distance of space.
Yeah, okay, but you could do this. You don't need to involve Mars for this story. You could just say like, you know, your wife gets hit by a truck.
Because that's really interesting.
No, because
on a science podcast. Yes, we could do that.
Because I think both of us probably know that going to Mars is very much a hot button for Brian Brushwood.
Well, that's true. All right.
Brian Brushwood, Martian pioneer.
I'll tell you what, at this point, like
that one. Chew on that one.
I don't even know what to tell you because it's like I could see if I truly believed, like, you know, I could go to Mars and Bonnie would be there later on. But then if I found out Bonnie's never gonna come to Mars, then at that point my whole life becomes about getting back. And I mean,
there are no jobs on Mars to get money to come back.
By the way, this has all been an elaborate plot for Jeff Bezos to have his own reality show.
Jimmy Wonka
beaming it back from Mars.
Jeff Bezos and Jimmy Wonka sit there cackling maniacally as they touch their fingers together like Mr. Burns.
We've ever had, Jeff.
Yeah, I told you, Jimmy. I told you. And it's like, I want Jeff Bezos to be perpetually coked up. Like, that's the whole thing.
On Jimmy Wonka's special stash.
Yes.
So now you can't. So can't go back. She's not coming. You're gonna die on Mars.
That would suck. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's
Be
like
honest,
I'm not.
You always knew it was going to end that way.
I mean, my intention would be to die celibate at that point, but it's like I'm not there. I'm not.
Maybe
in that
one night you had a few.
Oh well, no. It's that's like going. It's like there are people whose spouses go to jail forever, you know, and it's like they don't have any intention of splitting up, but all of a sudden that person is not a person.
Life intervenes.
Yeah, it's like that's awful.
So life intervenes, and then 5 minutes later, strikes have broken. Body's coming tomorrow.
And then the awkward conversation, like, well, listen, welcome to Mars, sweetheart. There's some rules.
Oh, good God! Oh man.
Here's Judy.
Yeah,
She's a Martian.
You have to introduce Bonnie to Klasmot, your new Martian offspring.
And then Bonnie would be like, I wish I had more hands to punch you in the balls more effectively.
She's like, I like this Martian gravity. When I hit you here, you fly all the way to there. Ugh. What
All right.
Okay,
Next topic.
All right. Hey, by the way, this episode brought to you by viewers like you.
Absolutely.
Also, I should actually, if you don't mind, I will give can I buy a plug real quick? Can I buy an advertising spot?
Buy it.
All right. Now I'll send you.
It's only $30 at weirdthings.com/sponsor.
But this goes out to thousands of people worldwide. If you think about that, this is like a CPM. That's like 20 cents a taco.
Brian, CPM for us stands for Candy Pudding Mountain, which is not real. We don't believe in it. Neither do you.
It's going to be real on Jimmy Wonka's Mars.
It is.
Candy Pudding Mountain will replace Olympus Mons.
Yeah.
The brothel will be called Olympus
I've now
Mons.
opened the Olympus Mons Venus. Jimmy Wonka.
So, real quick, let me just say, as you guys know, we launched scamstuff.com, and we've got the scam packs that are filled with 17 different collections of knickknacks and doodads that are kind of hard to find on their own, but together you get dozens of little bits and pieces that allow you to perform over 100 effects from the award-winning series Scam School, and only $35 plus shipping. And it comes in a Brian Brushwood commemorative pint glass, and they're way cool. Now that it's an actual product and we've made them, I'm way stoked about them. Perversely, the most labor-intensive part was making a reverse set of matches, which you'll understand when you see the Quicksilver Matches episode. But it's got like a placebo band and a bunch of other stuff. It's they're pretty rad. If you do want to get one for somebody who likes Scam School for Christmas, then you got to get a move on. I think we got like another week or two until we're going to run out of this current batch, and I don't think we'll get a new one until after Christmas.
Until never.
Until I go to Mars and cheat on my wife.
Let me just say this. Jeez, Brian.
Oh my God! This is exactly what this podcast is. You lead me down a primrose path. You force me into an untenable situation. You make me make the choice, and then you're disgusted by where I've ended up.
Listen, let me just say this about scamstuff.com. Number one, you could go out and get all that stuff in there separately, but you'd be wasting just a goddamn ton of time for no reason. And also, it's a great way to support, an awesome human being who's done a lot for you for free. So why don't you head on over there? And also, let me just tell you this. Brian, what you just heard now of like, listen, we got a bunch of this. We're going to sell it. It's all going to go at some point, and it's probably going to go sooner rather than later, probably before Christmas. But maybe we'll buy something else. Let me translate that for you. There's going to be a lot more like awesome stuff that Brian will have to deal with, and the idea of putting together, once he's put together hundreds, if not thousands, of these units one after another, he will not be excited to continue to spend his day building these things. If you want them, get them now. NOW. Scamstuff.com. Buy it so you have it. Because I'll guarantee you there's going to be a whole lot of
now,
this.
by the way, okay, now keep in mind, ostensibly, Justin is talking to the audience right now. What he's really doing is he's talking to me personally, saying, I spent 5 years handling orders for Andrew Mayne, and you're going to hate yourself, and you're going to want to put a bullet in your brain if you keep doing this, Brushwood.
I'm just going to say, for everybody listening, there's going to be a lot of this after everything's gone. Yeah, like, we'll do them again. Some point.
It was a great experiment. It was a great...
Yeah, we'll do them again. We'll do them again.
That's kind of uncanny, Justin.
Yeah. A lot of that. Get ready for that. Smorgasbord of that.
Right on, man. Hey, so let's talk monkeys.
Ooh.
Monkeys. What do they got that's like us? Name some things. Hit me with some comparisons. Monkeys, apes, chimpanzees.
A real sense of humor.
Not so much. You made that up. That's monkeyist is what you're doing right there.
Okay, so is this going to be Jason? You get to spend 5 years married to a monkey, and you don't get to see your wife. Or is this going to be one of those things? Is it my turn?
That's actually shockingly close to where this is headed. It turns out that there's a lot of things we have in common with apes, but recently scientists have discovered something new that they did not know we had in common with our hairier brethren. And I'd love to hear you guys take some stabs at what it is.
Well, we have limbs. We have arms and legs,
right?
Like monkeys.
That's a good start.
We have eyes, and mouths.
Yep.
Noses.
Yep. Genitals.
Yep.
That's
the name of my first in command. Genitals.
Jimmy
General Genitals.
Jimmy Wonka.
General Genitals. Can you please round up the Oompa Loompas?
The Oompa Oomphas, as I call them. My ladies.
The Oompa. Donkas. More like it. I'm Jimmy Wonka.
Wonkas badonka donkas.
Wonkas badonka donkas.
Welcome to Mars, ladies.
They're so juicy.
Badonka dee doo.
These guys are doing me. Now you can too. You can get yourself wet through at badonka Wonkas donkity doos.
I like the cut of your jib, Brushwood.
All right. So what else do monkeys have?
Body hair.
Yep.
Brains.
They got body hair. We got body hairs. Yeah. Wait, did you say wings?
Brains.
Oh, brains.
No, I was watching a documentary about a young woman who traveled from Kansas.
Yeah, man. Okay, so
cute little vests.
The news is that apes have midlife crises.
Now, this is something we've seen. I mean, a lot of in terms of behavioral elements, like that. There was a study not too long ago about their value to money, right?
Yes.
That they would exchange, and they had patterns like prostitution and stuff like that.
Right. Well, and they also had a general sense of fair trade. Although it should be pointed out, and I can't remember if it's Rational Optimist or Abundance that says specifically there is not a single other animal besides humans. Now, there are reciprocation. Like there'll be if one monkey gives a gift to another monkey, that other monkey will return the favor at some point down the line. They sort of remember their standing debts. But there is no animal that would ever willingly give up an item they have for an item of greater value. Like that apparently is truly universally only the province of humans. The fact that monkeys, they will choose whatever, they will do whatever it takes to get the higher value object to them. Like a grape is worth more to them than a parsnip or celery or whatever.
Yeah.
But if they have a celery, even though they want the grape, they will. It's not in them. They can't give up the one thing that they have in order to get another one. So, but there are all kinds of experiments to see if that's, you know, as you're putting it, Justin, to see all the ways that chimpanzees and apes are similar to humans.
Now, all right, this might seem both really ignorant and misogynist.
Already I'm in. I'll buy 3.
But I always think, and I think in popular culture we focus more on the midlife crises of men than women.
Sure.
And I'm sure that's probably not true, but I think many would think of it in that context. Do we have any sense that there are any kind of gender lines for midlife crises in apes?
Well, the study itself says that it was based on people familiar with the apes at various zoos, rating their responses and how engaged they are in their activities and what they're in here. But to your point, what does it says? Psychologist Dr. Alexander Weiss of the University of Edinburgh says, quote, "You don't have the chimpanzee hitting midlife and suddenly they want a bright red sports car." So it's, but they
start blasting REO Speedwagon and buying beer for high school kids.
It's American Beauty, but with chimps. Can we get that movie?
You never get to tell Cheeto what to do ever again.
It says, but there may be other things they want. Like,
man, we're burning it up with the movie pitches today. This is a great movie pitch episode.
But there may be other things they want, like mating with more females or gaining access to more resources. I mean, that sounds like American Beauty. It sounds like these apes hit a point where they're tired of abusing themselves in the shower, and they just go out and start smoking dope and tearing it up with the underage females.
But
Jane Goodall found a gorilla who put up a Grateful Dead poster in his garage and started lifting weights all the time.
But that said, females.
Yes.
So that would make the point that these are males that are going through the midlife.
Yeah, I
phase.
think that is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Is that real, or am I just being stupid?
No. I think you're right.
This is a male thing.
I think the midlife crisis is a very male thing in general, and in fact,
because I mean, like you see similar patterns. Because like for every young chippy that gets picked up by the recent male divorcee, you hear the stories of the pool boy who is seduced by the lonely housewife. By the way, I am going completely uncultural cliches here. There's no scientific value. And this is what happens when Andrew Mayne isn't on the episode.
You're like, my entire outlook is shaped by articles I read on the fine journal Literotica.com.
Absolutely.
Stories of the pool boy. Yeah, man. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I want to see an ape who's in the middle of having a midlife crisis. He's probably kicking he's beating the crap out of everyone. He's having sex with anything that'll move.
I mean, do you think but that's not like, the midlife crisis isn't like a necessarily physical dominance thing, is it?
Well, I mean, I took it as somebody who probably should have had one by now. It's somebody who just snaps and gets the thing he always wanted. Like somebody realizes that their time is not infinite and they have a limited resource of life left, and so they decide to make what might have seemed like rash decisions to hurry up and get things they want now instead of perpetually waiting for.
Doesn't it kind of seem like midlife crises are just sort of like a real cover for like people who married people that they're not exactly thrilled with and just kind of want divorces?
So you just say like midlife crisis is just an excuse to be an a-hole or
no. I mean, like, all right. So let's say theoretically you got married to the wrong person. Let's say theoretically that happens in life, and I'm talking to people who are in very, very happy marriages. I'm not talking to you. I'm saying theoretically,
$500,000 can fix that, and you will go to Mars.
Yes. I mean, because look, we've
just
all been to
hang
weddings
with Jimmy Wonka.
We've all been to weddings where we're just like, wow, this is not going to last.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and by the way, people always, and boy, this is turning into like dude's night out here, but it's like everyone always bemoans the divorce rate, but universally, I think of every couple I know who got divorced, and like everyone's better off for it. Yeah, I'm like really glad you guys split up. and are now with somebody right for you.
Yeah. So let's say, but it just kind of seems like if somebody married the wrong person and now they're kind of very much realizing that, or let's say that like they had kids, maybe the kid's a little bit older, and now they're like, well, what am I doing here?
Sure.
Like we lump all that kind of behavior of like, you know what? I am going to buy the sports car that I wanted and you nagged me about because you wanted to do something else. And you want to know what? I'm going to sleep with somebody that I very much find attractive, and that happens to be somebody 20 years younger than me. Like that, we lump all that into like midlife crisis, like it's a medical thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a correction to a problem that was created 20 years prior that everybody knew was a mistake.
Hypothetically, let's say that is the case. How would one go about getting some sort of doctor's note for something like that?
like theoretically, something that would convince both of the ladies, and maybe your boss, specifically made out to a certain name. Who would I call for that?
I'm having a midlife crisis.
I got a note from a doctor.
Hey, Romano.
Says here I gotta go to Mars to cheat.
Doesn't count if you do it with a rover.
So does it say in there what any more examples of the typical behavior in the apes?
Unfortunately, this is every so often, Jason, I read a headline and I just assume that I get the rest of the story. And then all of a sudden, live on the air, I'm forced to admit that I didn't actually read the rest of the article. However, I will quote this. Robin Dunbar, professor of evolutionary psychology at Oxford, says, quote, "What can produce a sense of well-being or contentedness that varies across the lifespan like this? It's hard to see anything in an ape's life that would have that sort of pattern that they would cogitate about. They're not particularly good at seeing far ahead in the future. That's one of the big differences between them and us." That is a skeptical analysis of the findings. So, fine. If you wanted to take all the air out of that headline that I was so proud to report, then you just did it, sir. Thanks.
Well, it's like suddenly the ape is sitting there on a branch or whatever, and he's like, God, I've really spent the last 15 years just throwing my poop at people. This is... I've just been masturbating and throwing my poop. I gotta change.
There's more to life than this. Is this all there is? Exactly. I want so bad to see Monkey American Beauty. I want a slow panning shot on the back of a monkey who appears to be touching himself and says, "This is the highlight of my day. Later I'll fling poo," and circles around. And maybe
the weird gibbon next door that's always staring at the paper bag.
There's just some monkey who's got like Nazi China. Sorry, what were you saying?
Let's do picks.
Yeah, dude. Let's talk about it. Do you have one? I have one.
I got a quick one. There's been a book I've been reading on and off. This isn't exactly a science pick, but I've been reading it on the planes. It's Bill Simmons' Book of Basketball. Very, very good. If you are a fan of the sport of basketball, it's insanely comprehensive. He has a very distinct kind of style of writing, but he's certainly anybody who's produced online, who likes writing online, really you should learn yourself up about Bill Simmons because he's a fantastic internet success story. So check that out, The Book of Basketball by Bill Simmons.
Dude, look what I'm doing. Get ready. Here it comes. Here it comes. You ready?
Oh, ready? Yeah. You better get that in your life, son.
I'm buying right now live on Audible.
Nice.
I am buying normally $31, only one credit with Audible. Why are we not sponsored by Audible?
I don't know.
That's because we're lazy and bad people. But I'm buying book 1 of The Heir to the Empire. I have to type my password again.
You should probably do that on air.
Yeah, no, I should do
it
wherever.
So you were buying. I implored you last week to get off.
Let's pull back the curtain a bit. You didn't just implore me on the air. You didn't just implore the buyers home. Like we got off the phone and I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on? That was a good show." You're like, "No, seriously, Brian, you are a bad person if you don't buy this audiobook, even though you've read these books before." So that's what's happening.
Reads them? Who's
Mark
the voice actor?
Thompson, I believe. Check that because you have the thing up now, Brian. But I believe it's Mark Thompson, and he is stellar. Like, not only does a great job of doing the voices that are familiar that we know and love, including Lando Calrissian,
Jimmy Wonka.
But he's fantastic at it. The voices are exactly in that sweet spot between parody of the actors and kind of their own sort of feeling to them. And really what's best about it is that there are some podcasts that I prefer in general to have them be dry, just like the narration, and that's it. Because, in general, when it comes to sound effects, they're just not great. It's people who don't do that for a living.
I'm trying to see if I can actually play a clip of it on here. Oh, here's a sample right here.
It would have been inconceivable for a man as young as Tichelle to serve as a bridge officer aboard a ship like the Chimera. No.
Dude, can you hear the ship noise in the background?
Yeah, exactly. So they'll do little, like, they'll do audio beds like the ship noise, or if they're in a cafe, you'll hear background like alien like talking and everything. But you get those precious moments, which are so few, and you don't realize it. The reason why we went to see the prequels is that you get these moments where you're into the story, you're so dialed in, and then you hear like the Empire March, or you hear those familiar John Williams swells, and you're just like, this is Star Wars. I just want to smash it against my head. I love it.
I only listen to audiobooks that are performed by Michael Winslow of Police Academy fame.
The bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. It's amazing. Well, I am excited to do it, but my pick actually is not a book or a television show. It's something you've never heard of before. And forgive me.
Unless you listened to the podcast last week.
Wait, did I already mention it? I already did mention it last week.
Yeah.
But I finished the Walking Dead video game from Telltale Studios, and cried like a baby at the end. And this is significant because, like, 4 years I have mentioned that it's easy to get people scared. It's easy to get people angry and annoyed, and it's less easy. It's less easy to get people to laugh. But as is evidence of a maturing medium, if you look at the history of film as a medium, early on it's just spectacle. Like, here's a sunrise, isn't it neat? You're looking at this stuff, and then you saw
train pulls into station.
Exactly, right. And then you saw, and of course, porn instantly, right? And then but then you also have stuff like you have the Nosferatu, you have the scary stuff early on, Boris Karloff and that era. But then as then there's comedies, of course, the Three Stooges. But then you develop a point where it's like you care deeply about these narratives, and that's part of the reason like Gone with the Wind is such an important movie, because you get swept up in these characters from so long ago. And we're seeing the same thing happen with storytelling in video games, and they pulled it off. I've said, like, the Holy Grail is I want a video game to give me characters and situations I care deeply enough about that when something tragic happens, I actually cry, and it's never happened until this video game. And I'm not going to spoil the end, but
yeah, let me just lay out for people who didn't listen to last week's podcast, and I don't know if we went into it. But this is much more of a story. This is a story-driven game. Far more. It's more about talking to people than. Is there even like a hack and slash element of killing zombies?
There's every so often there's a brief moment like you finally at this brief moment have a rifle and enough ammo to take out this approaching horde of zombies. And it's not a Twitch game. It's not like aim and click matters, but it's like, you click on each of their heads and you shoot them. And so you get the satisfaction of killing the bad guys. But mainly
But this is moving forward as a storytelling narrative.
Correct.
For which you are engrossed in. And this was something that we talked a lot about. Go ahead, Jason.
I was going to say that Telltale Games really seems to be filling the niche left by the diminished market of adventure games like Sierra and LucasArts and stuff like that, since they got out of the business around the time of like Grim Fandango and what have you. That it's really especially the latter adventure games. It's really about the characters and the things that they go through, and not so much about your video game skills.
No,
which
not,
I think
not
is a smart choice because Walking Dead has a mass appeal.
Well, and here's what's great about it is Walking Dead, whether it's the television show or the comic book, has always been, that brand has been about agonizing choices and about putting people in situations where they're forced to make excruciating decisions. And the difference is in a video game, it really matters when you're the one making these decisions, and you have a very short time to do so. You'll watch the question come up, and everyone will turn to you, and you have 15 seconds to decide what to say, or even less. 5 seconds to decide what to say.
And that's you were saying that is the key to this game is that you can answer, or no, you are made to answer everything, but you can also remain silent, and so you just get 15 seconds to either answer or not answer. So if you don't answer, then you're just mute Joe, who doesn't answer questions.
There are times, especially when probing questions come from this 11-year-old girl that you're protecting, and I'm not prepared to answer them, that I did. I just didn't say anything. And it creates a moment. Not answering is an answer. I again, not going to spoil the ending, but the ending did a fantastic job of being an utter surprise to me and utterly brutal and tender and sweet in how it wrapped things up. And I really look forward to hearing from anybody who, on our recommendation, goes and checks out the game, because I think and you don't need to have this story has nothing to do with the story that's told on the television show, nothing to do with the story that's told in the comic book. It's set in the same world, and as the prequels should have been, introduces a brand new cast of characters to make us care deeply about.
Now, the thing that kind of came to my mind the more this has gotten traction is when we were doing Game On, there was a game that came out and we reviewed of course we couldn't seriously talk about it, so we talked about it and we did a Daphne sketch about it. But it was an indie game called Dear Esther. And that was, at the time, the big conversation was, here's a game that literally has no points, no objectives, and it is an immersive story you are just interactively...
Right, there's no moment where it requires any skill to advance to the next part. All you do is literally walk from story point to story point.
Yeah, and you have free range of where you want to go, and as you kind of hit these points, it explains more and more of the game, more and more of the plot, and eventually you get a resolution to that. And there was a lot of Sturm and...
Oh, hang on. I don't know if I lost
I think...
Sorry, we lost you there for a second. We heard there was a lot of... Go ahead.
Sturm and Drang about, whether or not that was... it was a video game. Is it the future of video games? Is it an art project? And this seems like an evolution out of that idea. Not to say that they took that idea and ran with it, but that... Like, hey, listen, here's something that it's not like there's a good story along with a twitchy shooter, game, for which Walking Dead very much could be. You could take that property and just make it
and there are times when it's a little bit tedious and you realize that it's been 30 minutes and all you've done is essentially hit spacebar to advance the conversation. But luckily the writing is good enough that during those things you don't begrudge it and you're not angry about it.
And that's been the consensus.
Yeah.
How much input does Kirkman have into the writing of it?
As I understand it, very little. It's mainly the story's supervisor is Gary Whitta, but it was written by two of the guys over at Telltale Games. And somebody called me out. I keep wanting to say, "Screw you, Gary Whitta, you made me cry." But really, it is the two writers at Telltale Games that made it happen. And I apologize that I don't remember either of their names, but they're both worth following on Twitter.
So have you ever come close, either one of you, to crying at a video game?
There, you know what? The closest before this was getting kind of choked up when Alex's dad dies in spoiler alert in Half-Life 2 Episode 2.
Half-Life 2.
Yeah. Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which, by the way, though, I just realized that was half a decade ago that the episodes started coming out, and the whole point of them doing Half-Life 2 episodes was that they could create them every 6 months and start making them come out for super fast. But it was amazing.
There was a really sticky point for me playing Echo the Dolphin, in which just the waterworks. All right, Jason, you got a pick? You don't have to have a pick, but if you have something.
Yeah, what are you up to?
like
Like, what are you watching that you dig right now? It could be something you watch, something you read, whatever you wish everyone else is doing.
You know what? Actually, I do. I have something, and if you're, if you're a comic fan right now, you know this already. It has consistently been one of, if not the best comic being published right now for the last year plus a few months, and that's Mark Waid's Daredevil.
No kidding.
Yeah, and he has for the last couple of years, Daredevil has been first. It was Brian Michael Bendis who wrote it, and it was very dark and noirish and gritty. And then it was Ed Brubaker, and it was still dark and noirish and gritty. And they just put Matt Murdock through the ringer. They made him just this really miserable, just beleaguered. He should have killed himself.
Well, that's
really.
good because he doesn't have enough already going wrong in his life being
a lawyer.
Being a lawyer.
Right.
Blind.
Yeah, but Mark Waid went and he added kind of some of the whimsy to it, and a lot of the issues are almost done in one, and you've got a really kind of a wisecracking Daredevil who is not wisecracking in the way like, say, Peter Parker does as Spider-Man. And he doesn't have these overly long stories. They usually wrap up within like an issue or two. And he's really he's making Daredevil, he took it a different direction and yet still remained true without completely reinventing the character. He didn't betray anything that came before it. It's fun. It's kind of swashbuckling. There's a lot of mystery, and it's just got great characterizations to it. It is really, really good. And you don't really have to be a rabid Marvel fan or Daredevil fan to get what's going on.
And so if somebody like just knows the basics of Daredevil, this is what issue would you say they should just jump right in at?
Well, it's only at like issue 14 or 15 or something like that, and there are a couple of trades out right now that you can get for $15 or something.
Right.
So pick it up from the first one. You could really jump on just about anywhere because again the arcs don't go beyond like 2 or 3 issues. But yeah, it's really straightforward, and each one of them is kicked off with a tabloid page that kind of explains to you what's been going on.
The setup, the sensationalist view from the outside.
Yeah, and it's all written like a tabloid section of the Daily Bugle or something like that, But it's really good because he's he's like, well, everyone knows Matt Murdock is Daredevil, but he just keeps denying it. And he said, oh, no, that was just internet misinformation. And he's actually kind of sort of pulling it off. So he's at this point where the public knows he's Daredevil, but they're like, he's starting to make everyone think, well, okay, maybe not.
Well, that's great.
It's really, really clever.
Right on, man.
There we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about not only the greatest exploding neighborhood in the history of Indianapolis, but also what balding men
$1,000
and apes have in common, and most importantly, that Brian would totally cheat on his wife if he got to Mars.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much to Loading Bar and Spill.com's Jason Murphy.
This is why I can't have nice things.
It's been weird.
You can have space herpes.
Space herpes.
What do we have here?
Looks like somebody needs a double dose of my Oompa Loompas.
Badonka-donkas.
My badonka-donkas. Amazing. All right, man.
All right.
Here, how does this sound?
For no reason. And also, it's a great way to support,
Yeah. Unfortunately, we did a little bit of clipping. We went loud on this one, but that's all right.
That's probably my fault. I'm sorry.
No. Actually, it was my fault for just setting it a little bit off. But 12, 11, 26, space herpes. Yeah. Oh my. Welcome to Mars. Yeah, man. Dude.
All right. Well, that was great. Thank you very much for again, Jason. You were awesome.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. I kept stepping on you on your.
No,
your
That's
hard
an
on
artifact.
Skype.
Yeah, that's an artifact of Skype. It's like,
Yeah.
But I mean, rhythm is something that'll just be fixed over time. But meanwhile, the fact that you got the humor of the show and you nailed it. It was perfect.
And I didn't drop an F-bomb once. So.
Yeah, baby. I don't like editing.
Yeah, baby. I don't like editing.
Thanks for having me, man. This is a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Hey,
right up my alley.
So on that thing that you and I need to do,
Yes.
we need to get a list of everything that needs to happen. Are you free tomorrow? What's your schedule like? I know you said you were ADing that show, right?
I'm done with that. Yeah, that was just this last weekend. But we've got loading bar pretty much all night tomorrow.
Okay,
because it's Tuesday.
But during the day, are you free?
No, I'm working. Yeah.
Okay.
Got the day job during the day, so it could be kind of tough to figure something out. And because we're supposed to shoot on Thursday and Friday, right?
Yeah. No. We're shooting on Thursday and Friday. I will. I guess what I'll do. Mainly, if you have a moment, if you can give me a list of physical things that need to be prepped in advance and decisions on presentation that need to happen, that would help me out tremendously. Mainly because we're trying to get the Scam Stuff launch happen. We've assembled the first 130, 140 scam packs, but we got like 300 to go. So, but at some point, I've got to back away from that because obviously we got to do this shoot. So yes, I guess let me know what I should be doing that you can't do. But then also I'm going to drive up north to go to Computer Works and try to buy like 10 or 15 laptops. I guess we'll just do all laptops for that, right? Maybe 2 desktops.
If you can find it might be worth going to Goodwill and just buying a bunch of random stuff to enjoy, like a desk, a CRT television,
a desk would
whatever.
Be really good. All right, you're out of here. Take care, Justin.
Go, guys.
All right, bye.
See you, Justin. Thanks again.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. We should.
Just junk. It can be whatever. I mean, I would love to find an old junk car, so we might want to talk to some junkyards. I'll give them a call tomorrow if you want.
By the way, I met with Steve Wolf, and I'm still talking in code because we're still live. But I met with Steve Wolf, who is awesome, and we spent. Did I tell you about the show that he turned me on to? We just spent all this time talking about or just watching.
No.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It's doggone it. It's Nicked. Hold on. Yeah, Google. Nicked Knocken. There we go. Nicked Knockmachen. This show is amazing. This is all in German.
Oh, I thought you were making that up.
Nope. Nick Knockmachen. It essentially means don't imitate this.
It sounds like a dirty limerick, like the beginning to a limerick or something.
It once was a man from Nick Knocken. So these guys just basically go around violating advice labels. Like whatever it says, like do not do X, Y, or Z. They're like, why not? And then the best part is they don't do it in a lab. They do it in this house, and they end up destroying this thing.
Herzlich willkommen zur ersten Folge von Nicht nachmachen mit meinem geschätzten Kollegen Wiegald Boning. Und meinem nicht minder geschätzten Assistenten Bernhard Wecker.
Du fängst jetzt nicht schon mit dieser Assistenten-Moderatoren-Scheiße an.
Ach so, sorry. Versuch
Wait,
was
you
wert.
said
Nein,
Scheiße.
meinem nicht minder geschätzten Kollegen Bernhard Wecker.
All right, here, so we'll jump forward here. Yeah, here we go. So, like, this is the first thing.
Alles, was man wirklich niemals zu Hause machen sollte.
Das machen wir hier in unserem Haus.
Und deshalb sollten Sie den Namen dieser Sendung wirklich ernst nehmen. Nicht nachmachen.
Unter anderem sollten Sie heute auf Folgendes verzichten. Unser Rezept für Glühwein aus der Mikrowelle. Eine traditionelle Art von Kochen wie bei Mutti.
Und wenn es schnell gehen muss, wie man mit einem Bootsmotor Sahne schlägt.
That's whipping cream.
Okay. You know what I learned from this?
What?
Bonnie is going to be pissed at us.
Yeah, no, this is. I'm very excited.
Es bleibt ein entscheidender Nachteil.
Like, so they take. It says here, do not heat in the can in there. So they set up a blast shield, and then they sit there, and then they wait for like 20 GD minutes until this stuff explodes, and then
Worth it?
Yeah, dude. And so in this case, they I guess some instructions on here said something about how long it takes for clothes to dry, and to speed it up, they hook up a bunch of fireworks to it. Here we go.
Das sieht schon spannend aus. 1 Zentimeter, 1 Sekunde oder sowas war das, glaube ich. 21. Man sieht, wie das am Rand hochläuft.
Wie heißt das bei Apokalypse Now? Ich liebe den Geruch von Schrott.
So there's also here. Let's see if we can. Oh, dude, this is amazing. They put a bottle of wine into a microwave, and it takes 30 minutes. They microwave it for 30 GD minutes until. So this is 15 minutes later.
Frage an alle, wie lange wollen wir denn jetzt eigentlich hier warten? Drehschluss. Okay.
Is that amazing?
Oh, I love it. Those guys are creepy too, which adds an entirely different level.
This is them putting popcorn.
Hat schon gepoppt, ganz klar.
Trying to pop popcorn in a
Ich habe im Toaster
coffee
gar
maker.
nichts. Außer Rauchentwicklung.
Ja,
Da muss ich sagen,
tut
das
mir leid
ist
für dich.
in diesem Fall. Da, 1, 2 Popcorner, 3. Flambierte Popcorner. Er fängt an zu brennen. Wir sollten das jetzt mal rausziehen.
Vom Stromnetz? Brennt das da drin tatsächlich?
Ja.
Oh, this is the best.
200
They go to the hot
Liter.
water heater. They calculate how many gallons are in the hot water heater,
Liter mit 10 hiervon.
and then they add
Sagen wir mal 15.
the appropriate amount of instant coffee.
15 hast du ja dann.
Ich mach erstmal heiß.
Ja, nicht zu heißes Wasser steht da
That's
drauf.
so-
Wir haben 200 Liter. Wenn wir 2,5 nehmen, dann haben wir bei einem halben drüber, sind wir bei
15 passt in jedem Fall.
15 auf jeden Fall.
Was ist das denn?
Nur das ist der Temperaturfühler.
Ja, sehr schön.
So. 1. 3. 8.
Das soll es noch nicht.
Eine gute Creme hat er. Ja, es schäumt natürlich auch, klar.
Ja, das ist
natürlich
gut, dass
die
wir jetzt so
ganzen-
Feinheiten. Du trinkst lieber mit Zucker, ne?
Ich trinke lieber mit Zucker. Es ist genau 1 Gramm Zucker pro Tasse.
They add sugar to it.
Probieren? So, hier ist, okay.
Was ist denn das eigentlich?
Der Temperaturfühler. So.
Was he saying the temperature controller? Is that what he said?
I think so.
Ist offen. Druck wird aufgebaut. Jetzt müssen wir hoch.
Gehen wir raus.
Los, Kaffee.
Wo ist Koffein?
Kalt.
Genau.
Und
Daumen drücken.
Komm. Kaffee. Ja, Tasse, hol die Tasse.
Is that amazing?
Zucker brauchen wir nicht.
Nein, ist schon drin.
So, Achtung. Ne, Wasser willst du? Ja, du.
Soda.
Du.
Prost. Ich freue mich sehr.
Das ist eine gute Tasse Bohnenkaffee.
Sagen wir so, es ist eine Tasse Bohnenkaffee. Aber das
And then, oh wait, hold on. I think they actually.
Vergessen Sie die Titel.
That's the shower.
Machen Sie es nach. Wenn nicht, dann ist Schüssel. Und einen Außenbordmotor. So, das sind
So they use an outboard motor
komplett aufschneiden.
to whip cream.
Verstehe.
And again, it's like this is all happening right there in the. It's the context of it being right there in this living room that's
Vorsicht, dass du
amazing.
nicht kleckerst.
Ja, genau, das ist sehr. Achtung, Anne. Okay, bist du soweit? Choke ziehen. Und jetzt 1, 2, 3. Mitte.
Let me see if I can find. There was one really good one. There's so much here to mine. I can't believe this doesn't exist in America already.
Oh man, it's like
what?
kind of like German jackass.
It is, but like more sciencey. This is amazing. This is okay. So check this out. He's taking flour, putting it on a fan, lighting a few candles, and then he's just gonna turn it on, and essentially it's gonna form an aerosol with the.
Oh wow. It's the same concept behind the coffee creamer thing.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's gorgeous. They also. Oh, here we go. This is them using a fire hose to inflate a waterbed. Well beyond its capacity.
Oh, he's gonna pop it?
Yeah. It's oh wait, I just jumped off the money shot. What a bummer. Let's see what else. Anyway, way good show. Nicht nachdemachen.
That's awesome. You don't even have to speak German to enjoy it.
Well, I'll tell you, man. I think it's actually even better with it not being in
Right.
English. But okay, so we need to make a list of everything that needs to be done and give me those jobs, and I'll take care of them on Tuesday and Wednesday. And are you free Thursday, Friday for the shoot?
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. Right on, bro. Well,
But I will get you that list ASAP. I'm going to work on it some tonight.
Yeah. Right on, man. All right, well, cool. I'll go ahead and shut down this business. But as always, man, it was a great time hanging out.
Yes, it was lots of fun. And let's figure out, I'll send you our schedule for Loading Bar when we can have you on again.
Yes,
I definitely want to do that soon.
1,000,000,000%. Absolutely. All right, man. Take care.
Awesome. All right,
bye.
thanks, dude. See ya.